Hello, YouTube brothers and sisters. What a great and blessed morning it is. Um, Here in Columbus, Ohio, it's actually quite rainy, and I have to be thankful for that. Because I really thought the peppers on my balcony were going to die. They didn't get some rain and soon. Things have changed so much in my life. And I thank God for that. The biggest change would have to be the addition of a fiancé. Some of you know how my last relationship went. I was in a long-term relationship with an avid atheist, and when we got together, I myself was an avid atheist. I gave my life to Christ, and my relationship went downhill fast. I was with a man I thought loved me, who became verbally and physically abusive, and I stayed. I stayed because I figured if I could push just a little bit more, if I could take just a little bit more, he would see the love of Christ through me, and he would give his life to Christ. Finally, the Lord got tired of it. And the Lord hardened his heart and said, "You're leaving now." And I thank God for my brothers and sisters in Christ. They stepped up. I wanted for nothing. I had a place to stay. They helped me find a job. They helped me find an apartment. But I'd have to say my heart definitely took a hit when it came to the whole romance thing. As far as I was concerned, I could remain single and celibate for the rest of my life. It would definitely reduce a lot of complication. But, again, not the Lord's plan. I've been at my job for about 3 months. No, less than that, probably about a month and a half. And I tried to reach out and share my testimony with another coworker, not understanding quite yet that where I work is a rumor mill on steroids. I mean, on steroids. Oy. But anyway, this person goes around and tells everybody in the warehouse where I've been, what I've done. And no one can believe it. I look so sweet and so innocent. No one would believe that I held my roots in alternate lifestyles, that I used to get my kicks from attacking the Church of Christ. And so, even my fiance, currently, pulled what he calls the BS card. He didn't believe it. Well, one of his friends comes over and talks to me, and he just asks questions about the lifestyle that I was in. And I told him that I wouldn't advocate it, but that if he was going to do it, he needed to remain safe, and gave him some safety tips to keep from harming himself or someone else. He goes back to my fiance and says, "There's no way she's lying. She knows way too much for her to not have practiced that at some point." So then my fiance, now fiance Larry, comes over to me and starts talking to me. Now, of all things I don't like, being called a liar is one of them. And one thing I've always had is the ability to keep an ear to the ground. There's nothing that goes on that doesn't get by me. So my Christian scruples took a really big hit. He came up to me and said hello. My response was, get bent. He came to me and said, I don't understand why you're so standoffish. My response was, what are you, God's abortive attempt at something intelligent? I had my walls up. But as time progressed, I let my walls down because God corrected me. He reminded me of the people who let their walls down with me, like Jeff and Caroline and Pastor George, people who had every right in the world to keep their walls sky high and not let me in, not answer a single question, and if they hadn't, where I'd still be. So, I let my walls down, and I started answering questions. And as time went on, we became friends. And I saw him in a horrible relationship with a woman, a horrible and ungodly relationship with a woman. And I saw him slowly drinking himself to death. And then came the day I asked him, do you know Christ? And he goes, yeah, I know Christ. I said, okay. Do you have a relationship with him? His response to me was, Jesus and I have an understanding. My response was, oh, really? And just what kind of understanding would this be? And he seemed to have it in his head that he could do whatever he wanted. And Christ was like a genie in a bottle. All he had to do is, God help me, and God was there. And I remember the day he said, but I'm a Christian too. But I'm a Christian too. I think that's the day our relationship took a real solid turn. Because I called him out. Told him, no, you're not. Because Christ said those who follow him will be compelled to do two things. Two things. One, study his word. And two, never miss an opportunity to commune with other believers. Then I asked him, when's the last time you've been to church? And do you even own a Bible? So I asked you when we first met if you knew Jesus, and you said yes. All I have to say about that is the demons know Jesus too. But do you really think Christ is going to take them to heaven on Judgment Day? I look back at everything that's happened in the last 6 months, and I'm amazed. I know that God took me away because how can I come on YouTube and tell other people to come correct if I'm not coming correct myself? God wanted me to go through a growing phase, and I thank him for it. Because of that growing phase, this channel is going to be very different. Very, very different. A little less condemnation and a lot more love. All glory and praise be to Christ. I pray for every one of my brothers and sisters. And I pray for those who are a little reluctant to call themselves that just yet. The grace of God be with you and go with you always and everywhere. Take care.